All right, hey, what's going on, guys? So what I have in for repair today is a PS5 Slim, and what's going on with it is the disk drive. So I've already taken out the disk drive. Customer says that there's something going on with it. You press the power button. Disk drives make a sound, but it doesn't actually work. So I haven't tested this yet. So let's go ahead and let's test this together and let's see what's going on with it or what we can find out, because this doesn't make any sense. It's a newer console. But I've seen a lot of issues with them recently, so let's find out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plug up our power cable, and it, I don't even think we need the HDMI. We're just gonna power up. We're just gonna hook up power and turn it on, and then see what happens here. HDMI port looks pretty good on this console, so I'm not gonna mess with it. And the disk drive made a sound. Hear that? So that's the disk drive. So let's see what's going on here. So there's a little thing at the top right here that you can screw and open the drive. So I'm going to do that first. Yeah, so this part right here is not opening on this drive. So what's going on is the disk drive, this keeps on spinning like that, but it's not opening the actual drive part of it. So let's see what's causing that, and let's see if we can actually replace this with maybe like one of the other drives parts and see if that will work. So let's go over to my desk here, and I'm going to move the microscope out the way because there's no need for it right now. And this is the drive. It looks like we got a few screws here that probably takes off this top piece. I don't know if we need to do that. So let's just take out these bottom screws and let's see what happens first. We might not need to remove anything from the top. I'm going to worry about this part first. It might be broken that I can't fix it and I have to replace some parts. And I don't know if this disk drive is the same thing as the other disk drives, right? So I don't know what I'll have to replace in order to get it to work. There might just be a game that's stuck in it, and removing the game will fix it, hopefully. So there's two games in here. So you can see two games right there. They're both stuck in the drive. All right. Let's see if this will work. Nope, just one game in here. And that's it. Let's see if we can now reset this. Because we need this door to open. I don't see anything fall that might have broken off. Maybe this. Which I don't know where that spring goes, but that spring seems like it's missing something. Right, it's right here and it's just kind of dangling, but I might be wrong. So let me still try to Okay, there we go. So we got it opened up. Okay, so now let's put this back on. Okay, let's try to put these screws back in, and then we will actually test this thing here. Gotta flip these switch right here. Like that. And that way the drive is aware of its positioning, or the, not the drive, but this has to be aware of its position, and if not, then we're in trouble. But let's just see what happens once we put it back together. Let's see if we get it to work. And we'll test it a few times just to see what happens. Because I don't want to give it back to the customer after testing it once and saying that it's fixed, and then they come back again. So we're going to try to put a disc in, take the disc out. I'm going to try it a few different times. Maybe it is just a nice, easy fix. Maybe it is just a nice, easy fix. But the real question is, what caused it to do that in the first place? You know, that's my concern, because it shouldn't have never gotten that bad. Even if there was like multiple discs in there, which that's what I thought I seen. You know, for it to start like getting stuck like that, feels like something else happened. Give me 1 second. Every day it's like I'm starting to wonder, like, what happens? How are we still getting like robocalls every single day? You know, like 13 years later, I'm still getting robocalls about my Google Voice search. Like, that's just crazy. Now I lost my tool that I was just using just because I went to go answer the phone. Every single day I get like 10, 15 of those robocalls about Google Voice search. You would think Google would go after some of these people, try to get them to stop. You know, like using their information in order to solicit to business and harass business on a regular basis, but they don't care. What they do care about is small business that advertise on their platform not allowed to advertise repairs. You're not allowed to advertise repair, but you can still get these calls from these companies that are supposedly telling you that your Google website is not showing up. Like, shouldn't that be a bigger concern of someone imitating another business instead of worrying about, you know, like small business that are trying to grow and build something? You know, that's a that's the world that we're in. Okay, so we have the drive open. And let's test it and see what happens now. After we turn it on, let's see if it's, because what it might do still is it might take the disc in, but then when it closes, it doesn't reopen again, which will pretty much be the exact same thing that was happening before. So let's just turn it on, give it a few seconds for it to work. Okay, so I think it went through its whole sequence of opening and closing. And it's not sensing the disc going in. So I think what's going on is the actual, it's supposed to take the disc in, but it's not. And I think this is what happened was the customer realized it's not taking the disc in, and then it kind of forced it in there, thinking that would solve the problem. Yep. So that's what happened. So I think what's going on is the actual bottom drive area that's supposed to take the disc in is not functioning right. So because of that, when you put a disc in, it doesn't accept it. You can force the disc in, but that's not really going to help you. So, can't believe I just put that tool down. Unless it fell on the ground, I've completely lost it. Oh, here it is. Yeah, so I think some of the gears might have broken off. And there's really no parts for it right this second. So let's unplug this again. And what we're going to try to do is see if we have. I, I, I don't think, honestly, I don't think one of these other disk drive will work. Let me show you guys. Maybe I just needed, no. It couldn't be that easy that I didn't just tighten up that screw and that's all it is. No. So I think that spring that we seen does belong to something, and it's not there. Whatever it is broke off completely. And that controls the door. That controls the door on this thing. Oh yeah, this thing is completely spun out. Let me show you guys. So I just gave it one turn and I could tell that it's completely spun out. So it's not even on its, like it's overspin to the point, there it is. It just went back in place. So this thing spun so much. All right, let me put this screw back in right here. Now that I kind of sort of got that in place where it's supposed to be. Yeah, so this thing had spun out of rotation. Test this. I'm not even going to put it all back together. I just want to test to see if I figured out anything there. Maybe I'll get it to spin again out of rotation, and then I can set it back in place where it's supposed to be. I think that's just the alignment. I don't think. Okay. Okay, so what needs to happen is this needs to be the position that it's in, which is right now. This disk drive is in a position where it's locked, so it's waiting for it thinks that there's a disk in there, and that's not the right position right now. See? So I don't really know how this thing is supposed to be. Okay, so this goes underneath that. I'm going to try to solve this without replacing the disk drive or this whole section right here. Okay, that's the full turn. And this is also at its full turn. Oh, it snapped. You can see that all of this has snapped off, so we'll sit that over there first. Something is supposed to. I was thinking that maybe this sits in. So I was thinking that this, once it's turned, would come back this way, move this out the way, and then turn this, which it would turn it this way. But then it's stuck right there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this whole thing is popped out of place. Yeah, so this whole thing, which is supposed to sit like that, from this side actually. Yeah, this is not holding together. Let's see if we have another one of those that we can replace that with. I'm not sure if I do have one, because I think I threw out a whole bunch of little parts like that that I had laying around. Because I thought I was never going to need it again, so I was like, oh, I'll just get rid of it. Hold on, let's just lift this out again. Oh, we got to be careful of not damaging that ribbon cable. Which is disconnected right now, so that's not too bad. And let's see if this whole thing here works. All the teeth on this looks good. Yeah, so it's spinning, but it's not doing anything. So, let me show you what I mean by that. We're just going to disconnect that board. So when I turn, oh, because I'm missing the other part to it. It's supposed to make this open and close. So I think we need to find that to replace with here. And then maybe we can do something. Let me also reconnect up this ribbon cable that's disconnected. I know you guys are probably like, well, you can just replace the drive. And that's true. But I'm trying to see if I can find a solution to help you guys and reduce the cost for the customer. So this is how you find solutions. Okay, so we have that part. Let's see if we can find a bottom that's similar to that. I think I have a disk drive in another PlayStation 5. I don't know if they're even the same, because this is not a slim. Definitely not a slim. Let me just take this one apart and just see what we have. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. Get these screws out. You guys can kind of see it in the picture somewhere here. Let me put this on the desk. And you can tell that this drive is different, but we'll see what we can do. If there's anything we can do to fix it. If not, we'll just put this one back together. I leave this for some future repair. But let's just try. Because I did look on Mobile Centrics and I did not see the disk drive or parts for it on there. Which the most important thing about these drives is making sure that you have that board. This board, okay? So you just got to make sure that you still have that board if you want to do anything with it. So as I'm looking at this drive, it is built completely different. Yep. Even this centerpiece is different. So we're not even going to go any further. It's built completely different. So with these pieces, which kind of just sit in here, and they're more like a circle that falls apart very easily. Okay, and then they hold this in place like that. And then this, let me look at this again. Trying to get a general idea of how this thing is set up. So when this turns, like that, so then this would sit right here. So when this turns, this whole thing turns like that, closes. Okay, so now let's try to fit these pieces back in place while we have it in its correct positioning. Let's see if that will help at all to get this thing back right. I said I'm not 100% sure if this will fix it, but okay. All right, and then we have the little board over there. Okay, cool. I'm just trying to put everything back in place and test it again and see if it works. That goes up underneath there. Plug that up. And now we can... Oh, there's another piece that goes on before this. Right? Yep, because we have to put these screws in right here. Wait, this popped out of somewhere. Yeah, that came out of somewhere. I don't know where. That's needed somewhere. I didn't notice. I didn't even notice that. I honestly did not notice that. Which is what's going to stop probably all the progress that I just made on this thing. Just that one screw that seems like, or one spring that seems like no big deal. It will. Because of wherever it goes, it's probably crucial to this whole repair. Unless it was already there and I just didn't notice it, but I don't know. Alright, so I think I got the screws in that's needed to be in. So let's go ahead and let's test this again. Plug up power. Turn it on. Okay, and we don't have any noise from the drive yet. This goes in. This is spinning. So the console is fully on. Okay, and let's try to hook up HDMI and see if I can show you guys what's going on. Let's see if it's fully working now. And then we'll try the disc a few more times just to see. Okay, so we're right here. Let's get our controller. Let's hook up our controller and let's see if the disc is being read, and then we'll try to take the disc back out and put it back in a few more times and then see what happens. Like I said, I don't know where that spring came from. I didn't see it fall at any point in time, so I'm not sure. Can't connect to network, that's fine. Okay. And that was Dragon Ball Z. Here we are. So it's saying insert the disc. Maybe I insert the disc in the wrong direction. Try to eject it. It came back out, so that's good. It takes the disc in. Oh, there we go. So the game is working. So the game is working. So maybe we'll try a different game and see what happens because maybe this disc is damaged. Maybe the disc is all scratched up. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it can't recognize the disc. So either A, the disc is all scratched up, or yeah, it has some lines in it. It definitely has some lines in it. This side is good, but just gonna clean it off a little bit. Try it again. Take the disc in. Nice. I definitely don't like the sound of that. But it's working. Okay. But I don't like the sound of that. There's no line on the disc, but it's definitely rubbing on something. Something isn't right here. So, but so far so good, right? So we have the disc spinning the way it's supposed to. Let's look if maybe when I put that disc part on, maybe I didn't put it on properly. Don't know. I'm gonna double check though. So let's go back over my desk again. Right, so I'm gonna disconnect power, disconnect USB, and disconnect HDMI. And give me 1 second. I'm trying to put that other disk drive back together while I'm doing this because if not, trust me, this thing will never get put back together. Okay, so here and here. And let's take these screws back out again. Okay. Take that one out. And this one out, and let's lift this off. I don't want to mess with this too much. What could possibly be making it make that sound? We're gonna have to mess with it. We're gonna have to mess with it. I don't like the sound. And let's see what we can see. Maybe it'll be like a clear indication of what it's rubbing on, or what's, you know, causing that sound from the disk drive. Oh, okay. So I think this one arm might be the issue. Take that off. Yeah, this one just kind of falls out every time. I'm gonna try to move them to the other side and see what happens. So put this one on. Nope, so they can't work any other way. I mean, I can put this here. Like that. And then this other one. Which it feels like it's the exact same thing, right? It doesn't feel, at least for me, it doesn't feel like I did anything significant. Right? But you can see that part of that is sitting there. Yeah, I would think that. I'm just trying to look and see what. Let's put it back together and let's test it. Let's see if that changed anything on here. If not, then what I can try is to order, if I can find this part right here for this drive. But I don't know. And it's probably a good idea if you're watching this to kind of take a picture of this layout. I mean, if you've done this before, then you probably remember it. I don't. I haven't done one of these before, which is just pretty much replacing this. But if you have, I would definitely take a look at it and see. Not see, but try to remember this layout, because if you ever run into this issue with the disk drive, the fix might just be as simple as that. You know, it's just this whole thing right here just needs to be reset. Because that's all it was for this one, was resetting that area. Oh, this is off also again. Okay. I think we reset it back in place, but I still think something is going on here where there is no stoppage. There's nothing to stop it from going too far. So maybe that will be an issue. Because there's nothing to stop it from. Usually, maybe that spring is what usually stops it from going too far off track. But I don't really know where that spring goes. But we would still give a warranty. The reason why is because I think that there might be some future issues with it, right? And I want to make sure that if the customer is not happy or run into any problems with it, they can come back and we would just resolve the issue. Maybe in the future they'll have more parts for it available, so I'll be able to replace just that bottom section. I'll be fine. Right now, you don't have much parts available. So yeah, black screws go where there's metal. Shiny screw goes where there's plastic. Just remember that. So these screws go where there's plastic. The other one goes where there's metal. I put one here because, like the last time when we did it, it pulled that cable out, and in order to stop that from happening again, I put a screw in there. That's a metal also. So I don't know what I'm doing. Plastic. Got it. Here we go. Okay, and let's test it again. You know, that sound is just horrendous that it makes whenever it takes the disc in and it's spinning up the disc, and that's what I'm trying to eliminate, is that sound. Yeah, so it is rubbing on something. I just don't know what. Um, let's see if we can. Yeah, so the disk drives are really, really expensive right now. Yeah, the disk drives are at least $100 themselves. And I definitely think what's happening is, hold on, let's test this. Yep. So that piece is what's causing that sound. So if you notice now, there is no sound coming from it. Hear that? No noise. If I turn it this way, okay. So this way is fine. No sound. Okay. All right. Well, let's just turn this off and let's put this back together and go from there. So we'll just kind of give the customer, just tell them like, keep the disk drive side down, and that will eliminate the sound, and they'll be good. For now, because like I said, the disk drives are so expensive that it's not worth it. If as long as their disk drive is working and they're able to insert a disk and eject a disk, I think the customer will be happy with that. For now, in the future, we will give them maybe like a 90-day warranty. That way, if it comes back in the future, I know what to change, and we can just get this job done and give them back to it, give it back to them as parts are available for it. So, so I think that's it. So you guys seen how I fixed the disk drive just by taking it apart and kind of figuring out how everything works together, and that solved the problem. So if you do have the problem with the disk drive, I would suggest trying that, taking it apart, and just kind of messing with it for a few minutes and try to organize the pieces the way they're supposed to, and see if that solves the problem with it not taking the disk in or ejecting the disk, or if it stays closed, because that was the initial issue, was it stayed closed and they couldn't get the game out, and the game was just kind of stuck in it. I'm not even sure how that happens, but that was their initial issue. So thank you guys for watching.